All right, so because this is a Coca-Cola commercial, we can pretty much be sure that from the get-go, this is going to be a pathos-driven event, a pathos-driven argument. We aren't likely to get statistics from Coke, not about health or about well-being or anything like that. We might get some ethos if they feel like tossing a celebrity into the mix to vouch for their product, unless they do something sneaky here. But we'll definitely be saturated with pathos by the end of it, right? They're going to try and make us feel like Coca-Cola makes us happy. That is how a lot of these products that aren't necessarily good for you, but that are very popular among the public work. And it works very well. Okay, so let's see what they have cooked up for us. So the music is perfect, an upbeat tempo that will, without question, escalate in intensity as this commercial proceeds. And we see a close-up of the flagship product here. And the words, Coca-Cola with ice. Simple so far, right? So the image is aesthetically appealing, it looks good, it looks delicious, and given the power that Coca-Cola has culturally and its widespread popularity across the entire globe for so many years, this alone instantly gives hundreds of millions, perhaps even billions of people a craving for Coke during the Super Bowl when this is airing, right? Or anytime they watch this commercial. It's probably happening to you right now. Remember the last time you had one of those delicious Coca-Colas there? Wasn't it tasty? Right, okay, exactly. Let's continue. So, Coca-Cola with ice just became ice with friends. This is an awesome rhetorical device that we don't talk about very often. I love it. I'm obsessed with it. So there is a 99% chance you haven't heard of it yet, but you've seen it used many times, but you're here to learn, right? So it is called anadiplosis. 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 Which means reduplication, basically. So this is when someone ends a sentence with a word and then begins the next with the same word. So, for example, the boy became a man. The man became a warrior. The warrior became king. Or something like that. That is anadiplosis. Now, this is very, very important because consider the effect that anadiplosis has. Why would a speaker ever utilize this kind of rhetorical device? What does that kind of doubling of language do for the audience or for the message? Well, it does a few things that are pretty remarkable. It certainly heightens the sense of flow in the sentence, the momentum of the sentence. You can feel it building and building, and it does a lot for the logic of the sentence without any real logic being present, right? Without any logos, any truly reasonable explanation. The sentence, the boy became a man, the man became a warrior, the warrior became king, is deeply satisfying to hear. On multiple levels, on a pathos level, on an emotional level, and also on that logical level, right? It seems logically sound, and it delivers its punch with wonderful momentum. Anadiplosis. So good. Got that? Okay, so Coke with ice, ice with friends. Here we see snow or ice and very happy human beings, very happy friends throwing the said ice. Anadiplosis. Again, Coke with ice, ice with friends, friends with stories. The last frame suggested that perhaps Coca-Cola is associated with happiness and friendship. So this one gives Coke a bit more of an edge. Inside jokes, mischief, and so on. The momentum continues to build. And please note, it is mirrored by the music. Stories with Coca-Cola. Okay, a surprise kiss from this guy. Sure, okay, but also from Coke. And not only do we have another anadiplosis, but we've come full circle back to Coca-Cola, right? Back to Coke. The logic, the momentum, and the pathos have, with great force and great surprise, returned to Coca-Cola. Now, if you're intrigued by subliminal messages, you will love what you see when you take a close look at her shirt. Coke bottles everywhere. Okay, you saw this coming, right? Coca-Cola with smiles. The association here is very clear. Rather than to keep pausing the video, we'll let the next few run through, but we know what to expect. Coke with smiles, smiles with X, X with Y, Y with Coke. Okay, in the first cycle, the momentum also grew each time. Coke with ice, which is a 1 on the 10-point scale of crazy. Ice with friends, a snowball fight. Maybe that's a 3 or a 4 on the 10-point scale of crazy. Friends with stories, those guys running from the cops, that's a bit higher. Maybe a 7 or an 8 or a 9. And then relief. Stories with Coca-Cola. And if round 2 sticks to this formula and really takes advantage of what anadiplosis offers, it will follow suit. Coca-Cola with smiles, a 1 on our 10-point scale, and then probably something a little higher, something much higher, and then back to that relief with Coca-Cola. Okay, let's see. And yes, we were right about the cycles, the momentum, and the anadiplosis. But did you notice anything else? Did you hear any other powerful visual rhetoric throughout this commercial? Did you notice that someone was drinking Coca-Cola, obviously or not, in the vast majority of these highly emotionally charged clips? Did you feel the sense of longing or perhaps even nostalgia that these clips sought to evoke in you, right? They do that to us. You almost can't help but to feel those memories and to crave to do something fun or fantastic yourself. Did you notice that they only use glass bottles? That's very, very often the case in these kinds of commercials. Why? Because glass bottles foster nostalgia, right? Because whether or not you ever drank soda out of a glass bottle as a kid, it makes you think back to when you did, or perhaps when you wish you did. Did you notice the diversity of the people in the commercial, right? That representation of so many different nationalities and races to suggest that Coca-Cola is for everyone, right? That it's a global phenomenon, which it is. And did you hear the lyrics of the song that played in the background as that momentum grew and grew and grew? The lyrics, in case you didn't catch them, were, "No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down." So again, think about what is being just pounded into your brain there. No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. So pathos-driven, yes, definitely, with such vigor that it almost short-circuits the logos there. It almost seems to make reasonable sense, and that's the whole point of anadiplosis, right? And the point of this commercial, to foster certain associations with Coca-Cola, that's perfect. To reinforce the brand, and of course, to sell more Coca-Cola. Hence the ending here that folds you, the audience, in. You with Coca-Cola. And finally, Coca-Cola with feeling. As if to suggest that Coca-Cola has feeling, and also that Coca-Cola is a verb, something you can actually do with feeling, right? I will Coca-Cola with feeling, something like that. Taste the feeling. As the commercial ends, we are told, and here is our call to action, we are told to taste the feeling. Not taste the soda or taste the bubbles, but taste the feeling. So in replacing Coca-Cola with feeling, we see the metaphor at work here, right? We see it happening. Coca-Cola is feeling. And swapping the two, the implication is that they are interchangeable. This is also a very nifty use of synesthesia, which is one of my favorite devices, and also a very interesting neurological phenomenon where two senses are mixed. The wires are crossed. So, for instance, a person can touch sounds, or they can feel colors, or in this instance, they can taste the feeling. So it's pathos-driven. It's incredibly well done. Nice work, Coca-Cola marketing team. It makes you want to Coke. For the corresponding resources, check out teachargument.com/Coke16. That's Coke, C-O-K-E, 16 as in 2016. And feel free to check out the other videos, subscribe to this channel, and check out our other rhetorical analyses.